So the Brooklyn Nets have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 115 to 108, courtesy of Kyrie Irving and KD. And it was a great win overall. The team played very well today. Some players, Andre Drummond, Bruce Brown, and Nick Claxton, have all played their roles pretty well. And we're going to go over the box score, talking about the Nets, talking about the Cavs, and what the series is going to be looking like, for the Nets and the Celtics. Because they did win this, obviously, so they're going to be versing the Celtics in the first round. So what's up? I'm JDC. If you like the video, drop a like below, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. And let's get into the video. So my first initial thoughts of the game is that we'll start off with Cleveland because they lost, and I have some thoughts about that. So first of all, Darius Garland, absolute bucket, 34 points. I'll just lay that out right now. Absolute bucket. But his supporting cast needs some work, and it's such an apparent thing for this team that they really do need Jarrett Allen in the mix because, Evan Mobley, as great as he is and what he's been able to do this season, he's struggling. He is struggling in the post with, Andre Drummond, who isn't even that great on offense. Someone that shouldn't even be able to do what he's been able to do against Mobley tonight. He's been feasting on Evan Mobley tonight, and I think Evan Mobley needs some help. Playing him at the 4 is more optimal than playing him at the 5. His skinny body frame is such a huge disadvantage. 6'11", 215 pounds, very skinny guy. So bringing Jarrett Allen into the starting lineup, starting at the center, he can at least lock down Andre Drummond, who isn't, like I said, nice at offense. But Evan Mobley today, he played also pretty well today. But the supporting pieces, they just did not play as well as they were supposed to. Karis LeVert being a huge reason for that. So going over Brooklyn and their box score, Kevin Durant, 25 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. KD, defense today was pretty amazing. Right out of the gate for the game, he had a great block on Lauri Markkanen on 9-16 from the field and 1-2 from 3. KD, man, in the last recent games, actually, he's been more of a playmaker, which is a great sign because going into the Boston series, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to be able to lock up KD and Kyrie because, they're both pretty great defenders. So with KD being able to play make, it gives his teammates a better look. And, with them playing pretty well as of late, I think they're going to be fine going into the Celtics-Brooklyn series. So my thoughts on that series, I think Brooklyn might take it in 6 depending on Kyrie and KD. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both fumble essentially in that series, I think it's going to be over for them. So looking at some other guys, Bruce Brown with 18 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals on 8 of 19 from the field and 2 of 6 from 3. Bruce Brown, he's been a huge factor for this Brooklyn team, and I can't really stress that enough. He's been absolutely amazing over the season. His stats don't really reflect that: 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. But in the last 10 games, 14 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds on 57% from the field and 65% from 3. So Bruce Brown, he's been a huge factor for this Brooklyn team. And moving forward, I think they really do need to keep him because he's been a very important piece. His 3-point shot has definitely improved since last season too, which is a huge sign. So great game from Bruce Brown. Andre Drummond, like I said, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal. Played pretty well with Evan Mobley being the primary center, so he took advantage of that, being a 7-footer, or actually 6'10", 280 pounds. He took advantage of Evan Mobley, and in the post, Mobley could not contain Drummond. So great game from Drummond. He also was a huge pickup from the Sixers trade. They added more to their depth with James Harden being their only good player when KD and Kyrie were injured. So getting Andre Drummond and Seth Curry just added to their depth a little bit more. And overall, it looks like the trade is basically working for them. So Kyrie Irving, 34 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Kyrie Irving, man, 12 of 15 from the field and 3 of 6 from 3. Absolutely amazing game, a masterclass from Kyrie Irving, 34 and 12. He played absolutely well today. A lot of good finishes, a lot of great threes, and his layup package just never ceases to surprise me, man, because he's been able to finish around defenders, able to finish around, even 7-footers. So great game from Kyrie Irving. Seth Curry, 0 points and 2 rebounds with a steal. Didn't have too many plays today. It happens, but Seth Curry got to do better in the next game. So looking at the bench, Nick Claxton, 13 points and 9 rebounds with 5 blocks on 6 of 6 from the field. He had that one shot in the first quarter, I want to say, which was like a jumper. It was basically over at that point. That's when I thought the Nets had it at that point. Nick Claxton, man, he's been absolutely amazing for this team off the bench too. The amount of depth this team has is pretty amazing because they didn't even play Blake Griffin or LaMarcus Aldridge in this game too, or even Cam Thomas at that, who all three of them can basically score at any time. So yeah, I mean, the Nets had a great win today. Their starters played exceptionally well, except for obviously Seth Curry. But, if they can keep locked in, play this at a high level, if they can keep playing at a high level, especially against the Celtics, I think they're going to be pretty fine. So looking at the Cavs side of things, like I said, Darius Garland, 34 points, 5 assists, and 1 rebound with 2 steals. 6 turnovers, though. He was the primary ball handler. Obviously, without Colin Sexton there, it's pretty much difficult. 13 of 24 from the field and 3 of 6 from 3. He has been absolutely amazing for this Cavs team. He was the only one that basically carried this team on offense today. Evan Mobley did pretty well on that end too, but Garland definitely needs some help. He needs some help. Lauri Markkanen with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Okoro only played 13 minutes and had 0 points. LeVert, 12 points on 4 of 12 shooting. This team needs some help. And off the bench, Kevin Love, amazing game, 14 points and 13 rebounds. But overall, the starting lineup just needs more work. I think Jarrett Allen is really the difference maker for this team with defense, obviously, but also Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland running the pick and roll, because I think he can run it a little bit better than Evan Mobley. But also that Jarrett Allen is a 7-footer, I want to say, and he helps them in basically the interior. Because today Mobley was the only person that could defend the interior, but Lauri Markkanen, he did an okay job, nothing too amazing. He is 6'11", 240 pounds, so, I mean, I guess he did all right, but nothing at a high level like Jarrett Allen. So, overall, the game was actually pretty enjoyable, down to the last quarter, actually. I actually thought the Cavs were going to come back. They did try stringing a comeback in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough to warrant a comeback. So, hopefully the Cavaliers can come back. I think it was tomorrow? The Hawks versus someone tomorrow. I'm going to look into the play-in, but if the Cavs don't win against their play-in matchup, the next play-in game they have, then I think it's pretty much over for the Cavs. They also traded their, I want to say, first-round pick this year for Karis LeVert in that Pacers trade. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to be happening with the Cavs if they don't make the playoffs. So, looking at the Nets and their Celtics series, I think it's going to hugely rely on Kyrie Irving and KD, but also the role players. I think the role players are going to be very important for this series. With Boston having some great role players in Derek White, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, they do have Robert Williams out, but Daniel Tice has been playing pretty well in his absence. I think the role players are going to be very important. Andre Drummond going to be super important for rebounding. Kyrie Irving, Bruce Brown, and Kevin Durant all have to be scoring in double digits each game. So moving forward, the Celtics and Nets series, it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to make some videos on that and go Nets. That's the video. I'm GDC. I'm out. Peace.